you hold the power to transform your life's greatest challenges into your most profound victories. But how, you might ask? Today, we dive deep into the heart of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has empowered individuals to thrive in adversity and find serenity amidst chaos for centuries. Think about the last time you faced a situation that tested your patience or shook your confidence. How did you respond? Were you a prisoner to your immediate reactions, or did you choose a response that reflected your deeper values and convictions? This is where Stoicism shines, guiding us to respond to life's challenges with courage, wisdom, and equanimity. Today, we're diving into a profound concept that has its roots in ancient wisdom, yet remains strikingly relevant in our modern world. The art of training your mind to respond, not react. This concept isn't just about controlling your temper or keeping your cool in challenging situations. It's about cultivating a deep-seated sense of awareness, modern psychology, and Stoic philosophy to help you develop this responsive mindset. We'll look at how to cultivate mindfulness, the importance of identifying and expressing your emotions constructively, and how to keep the bigger picture in mind, a perspective that the Stoics excelled at. By the end of this discussion, you'll have a toolkit of strategies to help you pause, assess, and respond thoughtfully to whatever life throws your way. So, let's embark on this journey together, learning to anchor ourselves in the wisdom of Stoicism and the power of our own minds to choose our responses, transforming our experiences and interactions for the better. In our journey to understand the essence of responding over reacting, we delve into a realm where every thought and action is deliberate, echoing the profound teachings of Stoicism. The Stoics, those venerable sages of ancient Greece and Rome, held a view of life that is remarkably applicable to our fast-paced modern world. They taught the value of mastering one's emotions and reactions, emphasizing that true power lies in our ability to choose our response to any given situation. So, why is it so vital to cultivate a response rather than a knee-jerk reaction? Imagine you're in a tense meeting or facing a personal challenge. The Stoics believed in living according to nature and reason, advocating for a life where every action is guided by virtue and rational thought. By embracing this philosophy, we learn to observe our initial impulses, examine them with a rational mind, and choose a course of action that aligns with our core values and long-term goals. Responding rather than reacting means taking a moment to pause when faced with a triggering event. It's about stepping back to observe not only the external event, but also your internal response to it. This reflective pause allows you to consider various outcomes and choose one that is reasoned, balanced, and most importantly, under your control. Strategies for training the mind. Embarking on a transformative journey to train the mind requires more than mere intention. It necessitates deliberate and sustained effort, much like the practices espoused by the Stoics. These ancient philosophers offer timeless insights that can anchor our modern approach to cultivating a responsive rather than reactive mind. Firstly, let's delve into the power of self-awareness, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics emphasized the importance of introspection and understanding one's own thoughts and motivations. In our context, this means cultivating an acute awareness of our mental and emotional states. When you're aware of your thoughts and feelings, you're better equipped to manage them effectively. This heightened self-awareness allows you to recognize the onset of emotional reactions and provides the crucial first step in choosing a different, more reasoned response. Next, we explore the practice of pausing, a simple yet profound strategy. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, often spoke of the space between stimulus and response, the space where we have the power to choose our actions. By cultivating the habit of pausing, even just for a few seconds, we give ourselves the opportunity to step back from our immediate impulses. This pause can be filled with a deep breath, a moment of reflection, or a brief meditation. It's in this space that we can consult our inner Stoic, asking ourselves what virtue calls for in this moment and what response aligns with our highest self. Another pivotal strategy is reframing our perspective, a technique that Stoics use to maintain equanimity in the face of adversity. This involves consciously choosing to view a situation from a different angle, one that reduces its emotional charge and reveals alternative ways to engage with it. For instance, instead of seeing a challenging work situation as a threat, you might reframe it as an opportunity to grow and demonstrate resilience. By changing our narrative, we shift our emotional responses and open up new possibilities for action. Moreover, the Stoics were advocates of focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. In practicing this principle, we learn to invest our energy wisely, responding actively to our own thoughts and actions while accepting the external events as they unfold. This doesn't mean being passive or indifferent. Rather, it's about recognizing where our power truly lies and choosing to act there with intention and integrity. Finally, the practice of consistent reflection and adjustment is key to training the mind. The Stoics engaged in daily self-examination, assessing their actions and progress toward virtue. Similarly, we can end our day by reflecting on our responses, celebrating our successes in choosing thoughtful actions, and learning from the times we fell back into reactivity. This ongoing process of self-assessment and improvement fosters a responsive mindset and cultivates the wisdom and balance that Stoicism so highly values. By integrating these strategies into our daily lives, we not only honor the legacy of the Stoics, but also empower ourselves to live with greater purpose, calm, and effectiveness. Through persistent practice, we transform our minds, guiding them toward responses that reflect our deepest values and aspirations. Mindfulness practices. Mindfulness, at its core, is about cultivating a deep awareness of the present moment. It's about observing our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment, allowing us to gain insights into their nature and influence. By practicing mindfulness, we align with the Stoic endeavor to live with awareness and intention, anchoring ourselves firmly in the now, the only time when we truly have the power to act. Implementing response over reaction. Now let's transition our focus toward the pragmatic application of our newfound mindfulness and Stoic insights, aiming to cultivate a lifestyle where responding thoughtfully overshadows reactive impulses. This journey to implementing a response over reaction is not merely about suppressing natural reflexes. Rather, it's about enriching our engagement with life, echoing the Stoic virtue of living with deliberate intention and rationality. To embody the principles we've discussed, it's crucial to establish daily practices that reinforce the art of responding. Imagine you're faced with a challenging situation, perhaps a disagreement at work or an unforeseen setback. The immediate impulse might be to react emotionally, driven by frustration or disappointment. Yet this is the moment to harness our Stoic-inspired training, to pause and consider the broader perspective, asking ourselves, what would a Stoic philosopher do? This question isn't a call for emotional suppression. Instead, it's an invitation to engage our rational mind, to evaluate the situation dispassionately and identify constructive responses. As we reach the end of this journey together, remember, every moment is a choice, a chance to embody the calm, the resilience, and the wisdom of Stoicism. In the tapestry of life, Your responses are threads of your character, woven with intention and purpose. Now, as we part ways, I invite you to continue your exploration. Look to the screen for suggested videos that delve deeper into the art of living wisely and well. Thank you for joining us, for embracing the path of mindful response over reactive impulse. May your journey forward be enriched with clarity, virtue, and peace. Unfortunately, the art of silence has been lost in our busy world, where noise and talk are always present. But what if the times we choose not to speak were just as strong as the times we do? How often do we stop and think about what our quiet means? Stoicism is an old theory that teaches people how to control themselves through reason and emotional strength. It's a great way to learn when not to speak. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, said, "It's better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." This wise saying brings up a basic question. How many times have we felt bad about saying something in a hurry or out of anger? Stoicism doesn't just tell us not to do things. We owe it to ourselves to use silence as a tool for growth and peace. Imagine facing life's challenges with the calm confidence that your silence speaks louder than any words could ever hope to. Stoic philosophy teaches that silence isn't just the absence of speech, but a deeply felt response that has been carefully chosen. It is an active, powerful force, a plan that can help ease disagreements, protect us from harm and help us understand. But when exactly should we embrace silence together? We'll find out in 9 key times that choosing silence is not only smart, but also life-changing as we go deeper into these lessons. Think about how practicing Stoic silence might change the way you deal with others and your own peace of mind. What if you could end a heated fight with a calm, measured silence instead of harsh words? What might a quiet pause help you say about your feelings and thoughts? Come with us as we dig up the strong times to shut up and let the knowledge of Stoicism guide us. Are you ready to learn more about the deep knowledge of Stoicism? Please leave a word before you start your journey. Number 1. When being criticized unfairly. According to the Stoic philosophy, being unfairly criticized is a unique chance to become stronger and show integrity. The main ideas behind this old knowledge. The ruler Marcus Aurelius once said that if something outside of you bothers you, it's not the thing itself that's hurting you, but how you think about it. He also said that you can change how you think about something at any time. Insight says that what bothers us about criticism is not the criticism itself, but how we see and respond to it. Think about this. How might changing how you see criticism make you stronger? Can you think of a time when staying calm in the face of unfair criticism changed the outcome? For example, if you are leading a project at work and your boss criticizes it harshly, a Stoic response would be to calmly look at the feedback and find useful insights while ignoring any negative information that isn't based on facts. Number 2. Stoic silence in the middle of boasts. Imagine you're at a networking event where a co-worker is bragging too much about their recent raises and fancy lifestyle. You might want to counter their bravado with your own accomplishments. Stoicism teaches us the power of restraint. If you choose quiet, you keep your cool and let other people's words show you who they are. This way, you can save your energy for deeper conversations. This method not only protects your honor, but it also makes you look like someone who is sure of their own achievements and doesn't need outside approval. In this theory, silence is not a sign of passivity. Instead, it is a sign of strategic silence that shows knowledge and confidence. Another wise Stoic says, "He who does not wish to be outnumbered by greater benefits should not return one benefit with another, he should return many at once." In real life, this means that you should not respond to empty boasts with words, but with the quiet grace of your actions and the quality of your character. How often do you find yourself responding to someone else's success story with one of your own? What might happen if you instead chose to listen, fully acknowledging their accomplishments with a nod or a smile, while keeping your attention on your own virtues and goals? Accepting stoic quiet in the middle of boasts is a way to live a life not marked by competition, but by happiness and inner success. It creates an atmosphere where one can thrive peacefully and successfully based on genuine self-worth rather than comparative measures. Please think about this lesson and use what you've learned in your daily life. How could accepting quiet make your life and relationships better? Please write about your ideas and stories in the space below. Let's work together to make each other's lives more peaceful, happy, and successful. Number 3. When dealing with anger. When we're angry, it can feel like a wild storm that can sweep away all reason and calm. But in the middle of this storm, Stoic philosophy offers a safe place to be, a moment of silence that helps us deal with these strong feelings. Epicurus, a famous Stoic figure, said to keep quiet most of the time and only speak when you have to. Now imagine a day at work when a co-worker's mistake causes you hours of extra work. Your first instinct might be to lash out in anger, but what would happen if you chose silence instead? By not reacting in anger, you give yourself time to think about the situation more objectively. This pause can stop the conflict from getting worse and lead to constructive solutions instead of heated arguments. Think about it. How often has reacting quickly in anger made you think about what could be different if you took a moment to calm down before speaking? Marcus Aurelius, another well-known Stoic, gives advice in his writings. How much worse are the results of anger than the things that make people angry? This thought makes us think about what happens after we get angry. Most of the time, the effects of an angry outburst are worse than the thing that made us angry in the first place. Think about Nelson Mandela, a famous leader who, even though he had been jailed for years, decided to forgive his abusers instead of getting angry. This decision not only improved his own life, but also led a country to reconciliation. For example, using silence when you're angry doesn't mean hiding your feelings. It means choosing a response that is in line with your best self. This practice not only improves your own peace, but it also leads to better relationships and a more successful life. As you deal with the inevitable frustrations of daily life, remember that silence can be your sanctuary, a place where wisdom rules. Adopt it, and you may find that the quiet response is not only the most profound, but also the most powerful. Anger is a normal feeling that everyone has at some point in their lives. On the other hand, anger that isn't under control can hurt relationships and your own health. Number 4, silence in the middle of false rumors. When people talk to each other, stories are like leaves caught in a gust of wind. When these rumors aren't true, they can cause harm and confusion. Stoic philosophy gives us a strong answer. Quiet. Think about the story of a teacher in a small town who was wrongly accused of misconduct. As rumors spread through the community, the teacher chose not to add to the heat by denying or explaining what happened. Instead, she relied on her honesty and integrity to stand firm. Number 5. How to deal with loss. How do you deal with the utter silence that follows a major loss? Loss is a common human experience that often leaves a void filled with sadness and confusion. But Stoicism has a unique way of dealing with pain. For example, C.S. Lewis, a famous author who wrote about his grief after losing his wife in the book A Grief Observed, says, "The pain I feel now is the happiness I had before." This is a very Stoic way of thinking. Stoics believe that our experiences are part of a bigger natural flow of life. and that loss and love will always go hand in hand. Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, has a lot to say about this subject. The day we worry will be our last is actually the birthday of eternity. Number 6. Navigating ignorance with Stoic grace. Have you ever met someone whose actions show they don't understand, but whose belief is as strong as if they were an expert? Even though this situation is upsetting, it's a good time to practice being patient. Grace Galileo, the famous scientist who pushed heliocentrism during a time of strong geocentric beliefs, is a great example of how to deal with ignorance. Number 7. How to deal with rumors. There must have been many times in your life when you were the subject of a story, hearing whispers getting louder as they went around. It's a normal human reaction, but keeping quiet can change the situation. Think about the story of a community leader whose dedication to protecting the environment led to false rumors about her personal gain. Instead of addressing each rumor, she stayed focused on her work, remembering Marcus Aurelius's words, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who hurt you." This leader's decision to remain silent and continue her advocacy let her actions speak louder than any rumor. Her behavior shows an important Stoic concept. Number 8. When confronted with injustice. Stoic philosophy teaches us to deal with life's problems with fairness and inner strength. This is especially important when we face unfairness. As the wise Epicurean said, "Bear and forbear." This maxim tells us to go through hard times without complaining and forgive others for their mistakes. Nelson Mandela fought against racism in South Africa in a way that made this theory very clear. Mandela's long time in jail could have made him angry, but he came out as a supporter of peace and unity, showing a deep Stoic resilience. Mandela didn't just stand there and let injustice happen. He chose to focus on healing and unity instead of getting even. This choice shows a key Stoic principle. Our biggest power lies in our ability to choose how to react to outside events. How might our own lives change if we followed Mandela's lead when it comes to the unfair things that happen to us? Number 9. How to handle insults with Stoic wisdom. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." This maxim should wake us up every time someone insults us, and it also gives us a deep way to deal with insults. Be quiet. This insight tells us that we can choose how to react by choosing silence and understanding instead of conflict. Mahatma Gandhi, for example, faced insults and resistance in his fight for Indian freedom, but he didn't answer with anger or insult. Instead, he chose to be silent and understand. Gandhi believed in ahimsa, or pacifism, which is similar to the Stoic way of life. Joyful peace. Gandhi's reaction to verbal and physical attacks was to keep quiet. This often made his enemies less dangerous and won support for his cause among the public. How might taking a similar stance when you are insulted change the dynamics of your interactions with others? What could you gain by keeping your cool instead of responding with words when someone attacks you? You give yourself room to act with purpose instead of impulsiveness. This stern practice not only keeps you calm, but it also makes you look like a leader who is above everyone else. Small disagreements that echoed Marcus Aurelius's, "How much worse are the results of anger and grief than the things that made us feel those ways?" Think about this as you deal with the problems that come up every day. Think about what this stern silence could do for your life. Could it be the key to a better, more successful life? How might your actions affect how other people deal with problems? As we've looked at the 9 pivotal moments to embrace silence, from dealing with talk to facing loss, Stoic advice has shown us a way to peace and understanding. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Don't waste time arguing about what a good man should be one." In the spirit of his words, let us practice the deep strength that can be found in silence by deciding when to speak and when to listen. This will help us live a peaceful, happy, and kind life. Feel free to use these Stoic principles in your everyday conversations and see how the power of thoughtful silence can make your life better. If you found this talk deep and useful, please click the like button. Leave a note with your thoughts, and don't forget to share these deep philosophical ideas with everyone you know. If you're new, subscribe to our channel to get more deep lessons in Stoicism that will help you grow. See you in the next lessons.